All right, so this is section 1.4, multiplying integers. And this is why I think the rules are so much easier. When multiplying integers, multiply the numbers like normal, and then count the number of negatives. That's your first blank. Count the number of negatives. Here's why we're going to count them. If I'm counting the negative numbers and I see that there's an even number of them, my answer is going to be positive. Now, even numbers, that's going to be, 2, 4, heaven forbid I have 6 numbers consecutively that I'm multiplying, but if I did, that'd be even, 8, right, 10, so on and so forth. We're actually going to include 0 in that as well. If there are no negatives, your answer's going to be positive. If there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 negatives, your answer is still positive. When you multiply, a little bit different. The negatives like to pair up when you're multiplying. So if I have 1 negative, can it pair up with anybody? No. But what if I have 2?
Yes.
They make it positive. That's what happens when we multiply. If I've got 2 negatives, they make a positive. Now, why don't I just say 2 negatives make a positive? Because sometimes you'll have problems where you have 4 negatives. If I had 4 negatives, can they all pair up?
Yes.
2 and 2. 2 and 2. That works. If I have an even number of them, they can pair up. If they can pair up, my answer will be positive. If they cannot pair up because there's an odd number of them, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, those are all odd numbers. Of course, there's more after that. I hope that I never am doing a multiplication problem with 9 negative numbers. But if I was, before I even do the math, I know that my answer would be negative. Because they wouldn't be able to pair up. If there were 9 of you in here, if there were just 9, and I'm used to there being like 4 of you in here, so that's not too out of the norm. But if there were 9 of you in here and I said, everybody get a partner, would everybody have a partner? Nope. Nope. So if I have 9 negatives, 8 people will be able to partner up, 8 of them will be able to make a positive. There's 1 that can't, so your whole answer is negative. Does this make sense? Can the negatives pair up? Can they not? That's the rules. That's the rules when it comes to multiplying integers. Can the negatives pair up or not? They can pair up, it makes a positive. Other than that, I'm multiplying like normal. I'm not going to have a problem like I did on my worksheet that says 6 minus -4. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Change that to 6 plus +4. No, I'm not going to make you rewrite anything. You're not going to look at a problem that's multiplication and say, oh, wait, is this a division one? No, that doesn't happen. If you see multiplication, you're going to multiply. I don't know if my answer is positive or negative. Well, how many negatives do you have? That's the question. Checkers versus chess. If you played checkers before, you know that it's pretty easy to explain to somebody. Hey, you can only move your pieces on the colored tiles. You can only move forward. If you get to the end, you will get kinged, and then you can go both directions. That's as complicated as it gets, right? Now, there's strategy involved. You want to keep some of your pieces in certain places so you can block the person you're playing against. You want to try to jump them so you get rid of their pieces, right? Or maybe double jump. There's strategy in checkers. There's a lot more strategy in chess, though. There's a lot more strategy in adding and subtracting integers than what there is in multiplying and dividing them, okay? What's 2 times 5? 10? Okay, put 10 as the product. What's 2 times 5? 10? Okay, put 10 down. What about 2 times 5? 10? What about 2 times 5? Okay, let's look at these first 4 problems. All of them have a 2 times 5 in the problem. Now, sometimes it's a -2, sometimes it's a -5, sometimes they're both negative. But I don't care. I'm not going to rewrite this and turn this into a division. I'm not going to change the problem. I'm still doing 2 times 5. It's just a matter of, is my answer going to be positive 10 or negative 10? Well, if I don't have any negatives, we'd say there's 0 negatives to worry about. Of course, my answer is positive 10. But what if I have 1 negative? Does that negative have anyone to pair up with? No. So it makes the whole answer negative. Change that to negative 10. Maybe on, please don't GM out while I'm teaching. Thank you. What about this 1 negative? Does it have another negative to partner up with? Nope. So it's going to make its answer negative 10. So already we're getting away from our adding subtracting rules, because if we were adding or subtracting, it's same signs, keep the sign. Different signs, subtract, which this makes sense. Keep the sign of the larger number, then it'll be exact. Well, I didn't keep the sign of the larger number here because I'm using a different set of rules. I can't play checkers with chess rules. It won't work. How do I know which piece is the knight? How do I know which piece is the rook or the bishop or the queen or the king? I don't. They're all the same. It's easy. All right. Look at this one here. How many negatives do you see? Can they pair up? 2 negatives can pair up and they'll make a positive. So we're going to leave that as positive 10. That's it. That's multiplying integers, 101. It is easy. Yeah, it's like playing your first game of checkers. Like you pick it up really quickly. Taylor, you with us still?
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor, what's 3 times 4?
12.
Good. And what if I have one negative number? Can it pair up with another one?
No.
No, not here. So my answer is going to be a negative 12. That's right. Frank, what is 2 times 3? 6 times 4. Okay, so I'm going to put a 24 in my product. And then Frank, what happens if I have 3 negatives? Is 3 odd or even? So they're not going to partner up. So my answer is going to be, that's right, negative 24. The nice thing about multiplying integers is I could actually go through all the problems and tell you whether they're going to be positive or negative before I even do the math. You can't do that with addition and subtraction. Remember, these rules are different from addition and subtraction. For example, if I said do negative 6 plus negative 4, you'd be saying, well, we're going to join forces, same signs, keep the sign and add. I'm not going to do that if I'm multiplying. Not only am I going to get 24, as Frank just said, 6 times 4 is 24, but if I have 2 negatives here, my answer is actually positive. It's a completely different set of rules. Instead of same signs, keep the sign, it's 2 negatives, make a positive. So again, I'm taking my integer rules from last week, adding, subtracting, I'm putting on the back burner. We'll save you for next week when we come back and review all this. We're only going to be multiplying and dividing this week. Unless, of course, you start your adding, subtracting IXL, in which case you need to know those rules. We're going to skip the exponents for a second. Go down to the section that says multiplying integers. Let's see if we got this. Let's see if we've got the multiplication down. Michael, what is 3 times 7? $21. Now, I didn't ask Michael to rewrite it as a division problem, so already this is easier than subtraction. How many negatives did we have in this problem? And can they pair up? Yeah. Oh, can two people can pair up, right? A pair is a 2, right? Pair means 2. If I have 3 people, can they pair up? They could group up, but I can't call it a pair, can I? Got to call it an apple. It's just bad joke. Sorry. A pair is a 2, right? 2 is a pair. So yeah, this will be positive 21 because they could pair up. Example B. Gauge, what's 8 times 6? 48. Gauge, can that one negative partner up with another one? It cannot, so it makes the whole answer negative. This is how easy multiplication is. I'm still doing my mental multiplication facts and just trying to decide whether it's positive or negative. Elena, what's negative? Sorry, let's forget the negative for a second. Just tell me what 4 times 9 is. That's right, 36. Now, if I've got one negative there, it doesn't matter if it's the smaller or larger number that's negative. I just have one of them. Can one negative partner up with another one to make positive if it's not there? So this is going to make negative 36. If you have one negative, your answer will be negative. Taylor. We'll skip the exponent one for a second. Let's go down to example E. Example E. Max. Before I even do the math on this, you can tell me if it's going to be positive or negative. How many negative signs do you see? 2. Can 2 negatives pair up? They can't. So my answer will be. Hold on. If I have 2 negatives, will my answer be positive or negative? Yes, it'll be positive. We can tell that before we even do the math. Now, you want to jump into the math. So 4 times 5 is 20. That's right. What's 20 times 6, Maddox? That's right. So we're going to get an answer of 120, for example E. We know it's positive because there's 2 negatives. Example F. Joe, what's 12 times 4?
48.
That's right. Joe, if I've got 1 negative, my answer is going to be negative. Yeah, I need to ask myself, is one negative an odd number of them? Yes, so it's negative. Is 2 negatives even? Yes, so be positive. If they can partner up, it'll be positive. Now I'm going to stop right there. And we're going to go back up. We're going to talk about exponents for a second. Because this is a multiplication homework, it's not surprising to be talking about exponents since exponents show repeated multiplication. For example, 2 squared means I'm going to repeat the 2 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. So negative 2 squared means I'm going to repeat the negative 2 twice. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. What about 2 negatives? Will my answer be positive or negative if I have 2 negatives, Aaliyah? You're right. They'll partner up, won't they? Could 2 people make a partner? Yes. Could 3? No. Could 4? Yes. Could 5? No. So this is going to be positive 4. Now I'm going to use the copy and paste a lot. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste those negative 2's down into the blanks below, and then I'm going to add 1 more because I'm doing negative 2 to the 3rd power, so I need 3 of them. Calvin, what is 2 times 2 times 2? Too many. 1 less. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. There you go. Calvin, if I've got 3 negatives, 2 of them can partner up, 1 can't. So what's my answer going to be? Positive or negative? That's right. 3 negatives is an odd number, and that means we're going to get a negative answer. Copy and paste that. What? Well, you got to hit the little whip icon up here, and then you draw a circle around what you want to copy and paste. Then you tap on the middle of it, hit copy, and then you tap and hit paste. Okay, yeah, that works too. Now, negative 2 to the 4th power means I'm going to have another negative 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. What's 4 times 4? 16. My answer keeps doubling every time. However, this time I have 4 negatives. Can 4 people pair up? Yeah, 2 groups of 2, right? So this would be a positive answer. If I've got 4 negatives, they can all pair up with each other. Can 5 people pair up? No. So I automatically know that this answer is going to be negative. In fact, since all of this equals 16, what's 16 times 2? 32. 32. So what's happening is that the sign is alternating each time. Because why is it alternating? Because I've either got an even number of negative signs, or I've got an odd number of negative signs, or I've got an even number of negative signs, make a positive, or an odd number of negative signs, which gives us back to negative. So let's finish. We'll come back to this. Let's finish with these 2 questions, G and H. Sorry, not G and H. We'll just do D, and then I'll go back over G and H tomorrow, since I think we're already out of time. What's negative 6 times negative 6? It's 36, but is it positive or negative 36? Will the 2 negatives pair up?
Yes.
Yes, it's positive 36. I'll talk to you personally. You guys are dismissed. Let's bring it up here, Natalie. We'll finish these up tomorrow. We'll finish this up tomorrow and talk about division.